Leading off in the Tavistock Merchants in the top of the first, the center fielder, number 24, Mason McKay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Pierre Hallman Ball Yard in Kitchener, Ontario. This is the playoff round for Softball Canada's U23 tournament. This is game C1 between the top two teams after the round robin. The Tavistock Merchants are at the plate. The Rostock Junior Batmen are in the field. 2 strikes on the leadoff batter, Mason McKay. Hi, everybody. I'm Freddie Wallace here, along with everybody from Conestoga College Digital TV. The Kitchener Fastball Promotions putting on this event. This is our second game of the morning in the U23 division. Dale Schweier is the starting pitcher for Rostock, delivers a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As mentioned, this is our second game. Tavistock Merchants at the plate against the Rostock Junior Batmen in the field. Fouled off again by McKay. Rostock was the first place team after the 6-game round robin. They went 5-1. Tavistock, after losing their first game in the tournament, went on to post a record of 4-2, so they finished all alone in second place. This is the leadoff hitter, Mason McKay, and he lifts it into center field. Getting under it is Tyler Brancho, and there's 1 away. This is our second game of the morning in the U23 division. Already, the Murnau Mariners of Newfoundland have eliminated the Delisle Pride by a score of 2-1. Monroe quelling a threat in the top of the 7th inning for Delisle. So the Pride have been eliminated, and Murnau now advances to play this afternoon, scheduled for 3:30. The winner of this game between Tavistock and Rostock will advance to the championship game tomorrow. The batter is Blair Bender, the second baseman, 1 out, 1-1 the count. Tavistock at the plate in the blue jerseys, Rostock in the field in the purple jerseys. Again, the winner of this game will play tomorrow afternoon for the gold medal. Ground ball to the second baseman, nicely scooped up in a glove flip by Alex McGilvery over to the first baseman, and we get the out. The first baseman for the Batmen is Nolan Baltina. McGilvery at second. Their shortstop is Blake Brubaker, and at third base, Riley Good. The outfield left to right for the Rostock Batmen. Danny Scott in left. Tyler Brancho is made a put out in center, and the right fielder is Aiden Yard. Here is Connor Brooks, the number 3 batter for Tavistock. Again, the winner of this game goes directly to the championship tomorrow afternoon. The loser of this game is not eliminated because one of these teams finished first or second. They will get a double life. And this one is lofted into center field. Drifting after it is Brubaker, calls off the second baseman, and Brubaker makes the catch. So very quickly, Tavistock is gone here in the top of the first inning. No runs on no hits. For Rostock in the bottom of the first inning, it will be Tyler Brancho to lead off the center fielder, Alex McGilvery, the second baseman, and Danny Scott, the left fielder. Brancho, McGilvery, and Scott may sound like familiar names simply because they're playing in 2 divisions, playing both here in the U23 and in the men's division. So again, let's stick to the U23 to start here with some maintenance. Murnau Mariners beat the Delisle Pride 2-1 this morning. So Delisle has been eliminated because of the loss. Murnau Mariners, who finished 5th in the round robin, will now advance to play this afternoon, scheduled at 3:30, against the winner of the New Hamburg Mustangs Quebec game. Again, the winner of the game that we're broadcasting, Rostock Junior Batmen against the Tavistock Merchants, the winner goes directly to the championship tomorrow afternoon. The loser will play in the semifinal tomorrow morning, against the survivor of New Hamburg, Quebec, and Murnau. Make sense? Well, that's where we are today. We want to thank everybody, in particular the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. They've done a great job putting this on. Oh, sure, there's been some challenges by the weather, but other than that, we've managed to meander pretty well. We do want to thank MHBC, that's McNaughton, Hermson, Britton Clarkson Planning Limited, for their support of this tournament, along with the City of Kitchener. If you look on your cameras at the diamond, the grass is just forest green, and the infield is a nice brown clay. And in spite of some challenges directed by the weather, it's been a very, very well put together tournament on a great facility and a great venue here. And while I haven't been to Bud Park, I can only assume that it's in tip-top shape as well. Reese Yancey is the pitcher for the Tavistock Merchants. They are into the bottom of the first inning. Leading off will be the center fielder, Tyler Brancho. Brancho, who made a putout in the first inning at the top. Yancey delivers. That's low. Brancho, as deep as you can get in the box, takes ball 2. As mentioned, Brancho, McGilvery, and Scott seeing all kinds of action. Not only are they playing in the under-23, but they're in the men's division as well. Brancho managed to beat out his nubber, and an infield hit puts him at first base. That brings Alex McGilvery to the plate. Interesting, McGilvery playing second base here for the Rostock Junior Batmen. But last night, he played shortstop and played exceptionally well in a men's game. Tries the bunt, fouls it off. It's been an active couple of weeks for Alex McGilvery. Played for Ontario at the Canada Games, which was a gold medal performance by Team Ontario. And in the championship game, was 3 for 3 with a double. 1 strike on McGilvery. Yancey delivers, and McGilvery launches it. Oh, my goodness. Maybe the longest home run that I've seen to left field in this tournament. A 2-run smash by Alex McGilvery, and the Rostock Junior Batmen are off to a 2-0 lead. Man, oh man, was that pounded. Deep into the sky here in Kitchener. Speaking of the sky in Kitchener, it is, I hesitate to say raining, and it's not misting. It's somewhere in between. The ballpark is damp as Danny Scott takes a strike. Bottom of the first inning, Rostock Junior Batmen have launched out to a quick 2-0 lead on the Tavistock Merchants. Inside, 1-1. Not only is the U23 going today at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, swing and a miss by Scott. There are 3 tournaments running concurrently, Canadian Championships, U23 that you're watching. The men's had 2 games this morning, have 2 more coming up in relatively short fashion. And then the Masters tournament will resume at 1 o'clock this afternoon here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard. We do have a final from this morning in the men's division. The Souk Loggers out of British Columbia beat the Josh Collins Racing Reds 6-3. So Souk has moved to 2-1 in the tournament. That's fouled off by Scott. And the Josh Collins Racing Reds, they fall to 0-3. Meanwhile, the other game is quite a matchup. The Bear Creek Express from Ontario and the East Hants Mastodons for Nova Scotia are tied at 5. We'll update you on that between innings. 2 strikes on Danny Scott. Fouls this one to stay alive. We're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Again, our tournament being presented by Kitchener Fastball Promotions, who I think are in for a really good weekend. The U23 will climax with the bronze and championship games tomorrow. That will be followed by 2.5 to 3 days of men's and masters round-robin, playoff, and championship play. If you're in the Kitchener-Waterloo area or in southern Ontario, I invite you to come and see us here. Good fastball, good venue, You won't go hungry, I promise you that. You won't go thirsty, I promise you that. Or if you do, you're really trying hard. Yancey delivers, fouled off. So Danny Scott being very stubborn here against Reese Yancey. The winner of this game will play Friday afternoon at 3:30 for the gold medal. The loser of this game will play in the semifinal tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. against the survivor of the bottom 4 teams. Actually, we're down to 3 teams now as Delisle has been eliminated. Danny Scott at the plate, nobody on, nobody out, 2-0 early for the Rostock Junior Batmen. This is fouled away off the dugout of the Merchants. So Danny Scott not putting anything in play, but getting his bat on the ball for everything that Reese Yancey delivers. Yancey leans back, fouled off. Gives me a chance to check that game between East Hants and Bear Creek in the men's division. Bear Creek Express have won it 6-5 in extra innings. We'll wait for it to become official, but that's the word from Game Changer. Swing and a miss, strike out there, the first of the game for Reese Yancey as he gets Danny Scott finally. That brings Aiden Yard to the plate. Yard, a right-handed swinger, playing right field. Yard also among those playing in the men's division as well. So a lot of these junior batmen are seeing action with the senior batmen and also with the Waterloo or the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Ball 1 to Yard. Yard had a huge home run yesterday in Rostock's final game. And we've seen a huge home run already in the game as Alex McGilvery went yard. Bernie Burnett, he just loved that call when Yard went yard. This one is hammered. It might be foul. Way out there, but foul for Aiden Yard. 1 down, Danny Scott on the strikeout. 2 runs in, the 2-run homer by Alex McGilvery, scoring Tyler Brancho. Bottom of the first inning here in game C1 of Softball Canada's U23 playdowns. Bounced, and it bounces over the third baseman, and Yard has a single. The third baseman for Tavistock, Jack Becker, just not nearly tall enough. There's been lots of those hits here at the Peter Hallman ball yard. Balls that are struck and hit the infield and then bounce on a very high trajectory. The infield for Tavistock, as mentioned, Becker is at third. The shortstop is Andrew Van Boekel. Second baseman Blair Bender. And at first base, it's Connor Brooks. The outfield alignment, left to right for Tavistock. Keaton Bartlett is in left. Mason McKay is in center. And the right fielder is Will Schlotzhauer. That brings Matt Weiler to the plate. Weiler is the designated player today for the junior batman. Takes a ball there. Another ball taken by Weiler. And it's now become official. The Bear Creek Express have defeated the East Hants Mastodons 6-5. Swing and a miss by Weiler here in the U23. So in the men's division, the Bear Creek Express, which some people are telling me are the favorite coming into this tournament, they move to 3-0. East Hants, they fall to 2-1. Just underway, the defending champion, the Galway Hitmen, who are 1-1, are in against the Waterdown Hammer. And also scheduled to start in a matter of moments, the Saskatoon Jacks, who are 1-1, in against the Mixburg Twins. So that's what's happening on 3 diamonds here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Outside on Weiler for ball 3. Reese Yancey in the circle, left-handed hurler. Weiler pounds it into the ground and it goes foul as it's knocked there by the catcher. Yancey is throwing to Aaron Waugh, who is the catcher for the Tavistock Merchants. Again, Tavistock all alone in second. 4-2 was their record. Their win last night allowed them to get there. Another ball. Yeah, I thought that was ball 4. I know math isn't my strong suit. So Yard moves to second. Weiler is at first via the first walk issued by Reed Cianci. Riley Good comes to the plate, third baseman for the Rostock Junior Batmen. They're up 2-0, and they've got 2 on, 1 in scoring position. Just 1 man out. Yancey delivers, and it's high, and the runners will advance. Yard moves to third, Weiler to second. So Good with an opportunity to pad the lead here. A base hit conceivably could score 2. Fouls it off. Rostock went 5-1 in the round robin. Tavistock 4-2. We'll take a look at those standings from the round robin during the next half-inning break. Yancey sets, and this one is sent into left field. Going way back is the center fielder, and making a nice catch out there is Mason McKay, but a run will score. Yard comes in to score. Moving to third base is Matt Weiler. 3-0 for Rostock, bottom of the first. 2 out. Mike Walker to the plate. Walker is the catcher for the Rostock Junior Batmen. Yancey delivers. There's a strike. Strike 2 as Walker swings through. Umbrellas are up. I think the best way to describe it is there's moisture in the air. If you look out at the various apartments and condos here in Kitchener, it's not bright, but it's not dark. Our weather pattern is coming from the north, a little darker to the north. But there's no question that we've had precipitation. I don't know that we've had hard rain. Swing and a miss by Mike Walker, and that will complete the first inning. Second strikeout for Reese Yancey. But Rostock puts up 3 runs. They did it on 3 hits. Single by Brancho, 2-run homer by McGilvery, single by Yard. So after 1 inning, it's 3-0 for the Rostock Junior Batmen, with the Merchants coming to the plate, the host team from Tavistock. Aaron Waugh, Jack Becker, and Andrew Van Boekel due up for the Merchants. Again, as we mentioned, the Rostock Junior Batmen were the winners of the round robin, or the first place finishers. They went 5-1. They were 5-0 at one point, but they lost their last outing. Tavistock Merchants, after losing their opening game, went 4-2, and they finished all alone in second. We had 3 teams tie with records of 3-3. The New Hamburg Mustangs, the Delisle Pride, and the Monroe Mariners. New Hamburg, who had a run differential of +3, was awarded third. The Delisle Pride, who have since been eliminated, they were fourth with a run differential of -1. And the Monroe Mariners of Newfoundland, who also finished 3-3, they were awarded fifth because their run differential was -16. But Monroe has advanced, and Delisle is going home. Equipe Quebec, they went 2-4, and they got the number 6 position and made the playoffs. The Shallow Lake Sting went 1-5 and did not make the playoffs. Again, the winner of this game advances to the gold medal game coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The catcher, Aaron Waugh, will lead it off for the Tavistock Merchants. Both teams should be well rested for tomorrow. The winner of this game will not play until 3:30 on Friday afternoon, weather permitting. The loser of this game will play at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so almost 22 hours between games. Strike one called on Waugh. Not sure if he crossed the plate or not, or whether that was a called strike. In the world of fastball, where sometimes you play back-to-back, 22 hours might seem like 22 weeks. Ground ball to Schweier. He will run it over to the first baseman, and we get the putout. Nolan Baltina is at first base. McGilvery is at second base. Blake Brubaker, the shortstop, and Riley Good is at third. Left to right in the outfield, Danny Scott is in left field. Tyler Brancho in center, and Aiden Yard is in right. Jack Becker, the third baseman. Left-handed hitter. One down, top of the second. Swing and a miss. Tavistock looking to get some offense generated here against Dale Schweier. One of two Schweiers that we've seen pitch in the ballgame. Rob Schweier is a pitcher for the Galway Hitmen. Galway went 1-1 on the opening day. If I'm not mistaken, Rob Schweier is right-handed, Dale Schweier is left-handed. Here's Schweier's delivery to Jack Becker. Becker bounds it to McGilvery at second, sure-handed, underhands it. McGilvery to Baltina, and there's two away. Andrew Van Boekel, the shortstop for the Tavistock Merchants, is coming to the plate now. Two down, top of the second inning, and Tavistock trailing by 3 in the early going. Just checking to see if Saskatoon and Mixburg are underway. Nothing to report. There's a strike called. I can tell you that the Galway Hitmen have jumped out to an early 3-0 lead against the Waterdown Hammer. Galway, the defending champions here. As we did the game last night, Steve Sabrin looked at the lineup and said, man, are they stacked. Bear Creek, people are telling me that they're stacked. East Hants Mastodons, though, went to extra innings with them, so they've got to be stacked. Ground ball up the middle. Brubaker cannot get there, and Tavistock has their first hit of the ball game. Shortstop Andrew Van Boekel bounds one between shortstop and second, and we've got a runner on for Tavistock. That brings number 44 to the plate. This is the left fielder, Keaton Bartlett. First hit for Tavistock in the ball game. Schweier retired the first 5 that he faced. Schweier sets at the waist, fires high. His catcher, Mike Walker, ever alert to make sure Van Boekel isn't going to try and steal to get into scoring position here, as Tavistock needs to manufacture something. That's outside, so quickly the count in favor of Bartlett at 2-0. Bit of wind, but not much. We've had really stiff breezes from the north, as we've mentioned. This is grounded to the shortstop, Brubaker, and Brubaker cannot handle it, and that will allow Van Boekel to skip to third. Well, Tavistock, who didn't do much in their first 5 batters, fly out, ground out, pop out, bounce to the pitcher, down to second, now have runners at first and third with 2 out. Keaton Bartlett aboard on the error. Van Boekel, who singled, is now at third. Reese Yancey, the pitcher, with a chance to help his own cause. He's down 3-0 in the top of the second. There's 2 out, 1 in scoring position, 2 on. Popped way up and out of play. Off the roof here from our broadcast location. Game C3 of Softball Canada's Under-23 Championship. The 1-2 game being presented by Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Called strike 2. So Schweier very quickly gets ahead of his pitching counterpart Yancey with a 2-strike call. Can he sit him? Can Yancey stay alive? Offered at it and struck out looking, we'll call that. First strikeout for Dale Schweier. No runs for Tavistock. They had one hit. So after 1.5, the Rostock Junior Batmen lead the Tavistock Merchants 3-0. Tavistock, 3 runs on 3 hits. Due up for the Batmen will be the bottom of the order, first baseman Nolan Baltina and shortstop Blake Brubaker, and then we'll turn the lineup over, and Tyler Brancho will get his second appearance at the plate. Mentioned the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Good group of fellows, good group of people. I should say people. It's not all men that are running this in terms of both those on the committee and those that are volunteering here today. And they get good support, certainly from Molson Coors, who will make sure that nobody is thirsty here in the ballpark, and also from the city of Waterloo. It's not good that Waterloo's sending us this weather, but bottom line is Waterloo extremely supportive of this venture. Rostock 5-1, first place in the round robin, looking to continue as being the favorite team, the odds-on favorite team. There was some suggestion that at 5-0 yesterday, their final game against Quebec was maybe not a throwaway game, but not a game that carried a great deal of importance for them. On the men's play, the Galway Hitmen have a 3-0 lead over the Waterdown Hammer. That's in the bottom of the first inning with Waterdown up with 2 out and nobody on. We'll keep tabs on that. And again, the Saskatoon Jacks are scheduled to be against the Mixburg Twins. That game scheduled to start at 11:15, but because Bear Creek and East Hants went to extra innings in a 6-5 win for Bear Creek, we're backed up just a little bit. 3 diamonds here at Peter Hallman Ball-Yard, all being utilized. U23 playoffs are what you're watching on Conestoga College Digital TV. The other 2 diamonds here at the Hallman Ball-Yard being utilized by the men's division. This is Nolan Baltina at the plate. The Masters division, they will come back. They don't have a busy schedule today in the Masters division, but they will start play at 1:15 this afternoon. Ran into Chris Mink, who I've known for a long, long time. He's playing for the Huron County Angels in the tournament. The Angels didn't get off to the best start in their opening game against Cobourg. They've been competitive since, but find themselves at 0-3. Baltina trying to get something started here as the leadoff man in the bottom of the second inning. His team is leading by a score of 3-0. Takes a strike. Tyler Brancho, Alex McGilvery, and Aiden Yard have all come across the plate, and it's a 3-0 lead. Baltina swings and misses, and that's 1 down. Third strikeout for Reese Yancey. Blake Brubaker, the shortstop for the Rostock Junior Batmen, is to the plate. Where's jersey number 24? Right-handed batter. Yancey, the left-hander. Bounces one in there. Launched into right center. That's going to be down for a base hit. And Brubaker is going to spin as the ball gets by the right fielder and is in with a triple. Your number 9 hitter essentially launched probably a single that they had some difficulty in right field. Will Schatzlauer had some difficulty with the dampness. I'll be generous and give Brubaker a triple. So a runner at third with 1 out. Yancey gets one by Brubaker, or pardon me, by Brancho. Brancho singled to start the bottom of the first inning. Now he's in a position to drive in a run. Call ball. Just checking some updates here. It's amazing the number of people that want to get in touch with you when you're busy. Ground ball to third base. The run will score. So on the fielder's choice, 5-3, Rostock goes up by a score of 4-0. Nice play there by Jack Becker. 2 out. There, we're just going to clear things on the Precious phone and get back to monitoring the men's division. Swing and a miss by Alex McGilvery. McGilvery homered as the second batter in the game to make it a 2-0 game. The Saskatoon Jacks and Micksburg Twins are now underway. McGilvery, strike 2. 2 down, nobody on, but it's a 4-0 lead for the Rostock junior batman. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. 4 strikeouts in the game for Reese Yancey, but Rostock puts another run on the board. 1 run on 1 hit. The RBI by Tyler Brancho on the ground out. 4-0, we go to the top of the third inning. Due up for the Tavistock Merchants will be Joe Mick, the designated player, followed by Mason McKay and Blair Bender. To get here, Rostock went 5-1. They won their opening game, beating Delisle Pride, won their second game by mercying the Shallow Lake Sting. They defeated the Tavistock Merchants in their first meeting of the tournament, also knocked off the New Hamburg Mustangs in an extra inning affair. They won their 5th in a row, getting by Quebec, and then lost their last game against Murnau last night. Again, not suggesting that it was a throwaway game, but at 5-0, it meant nothing to Rostock, and so they lost their final game and are now here looking every bit the first-place team. As for Tavistock, they lost their first game in extra innings to the Delisle Pride. They bounced back to beat Quebec. They lost their third game to the Rostock Junior Batmen, defeated the Shallow Lake Sting by a shutout victory, followed that with another victory, getting by the New Hamburg Mustangs in a come-from-behind effort yesterday. So Tavistock went 4-2, Rostock 5-1. We move to the third inning, and due up is the designated player, Joe Mick. Dale Schweier, pretty effective to this point. He's given up 1 hit. Another man got aboard on an error. Popped up down the third base line, out of play. So the Galway Hitmen are leading the Waterdown Hammer 3-1 in the men's division. And the Saskatoon Jacks and the Micksburg Twins are just underway. Schweier with 1 strike on Mick. 2 strikes on Mick as he fouled that one off on the check swing. Following Mick, they go to the top of the order for the Merchants. Mason McKay, Blair Bender to follow. 4-0 Rostock leading in the early going. Top of the third inning. This is game C1 of Softball Canada's U23. Did he go? They called it on the tip, and so that's the second strikeout for Dale Schweier. Brings Mason McKay to the plate. He's the center fielder. Flied out to his counterpart in center field for Rostock, Tyler Brancho, to start the ballgame. 1 down in the top of the third, nobody on. That Galway game with Waterdown is in the top of the second. Galway at the plate leading 3-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Meanwhile, the Saskatoon game with Micksburg, I'm assuming is just in the top of the first, yeah. With 2 men out. Saskatoon, though, has scored twice in that top of the first, so they have a 2-0 lead over Micksburg. The Jacks were 1-1 coming into this. So a pretty productive first inning there. Schweier, ground ball, grabbed up by Brubaker across to Baltina, and there's 2 down. 6-3 on the putout, and that brings Blair Bender to the plate. Again, after the game between Saskatoon and Micksburg and the Galway Waterdown game, we'll do a little bit of a shift, and the Masters will have action here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Game set to go a little bit after 1. Nice change up for a strike. Schweier has 2 down. Bender, and if he extends it, then Connor Brooks will come to the plate. Line to first base. Baltina reaches out and makes the catch. Tavistock gone here in the top of the third. No runs, no hits. After 2.5, the Rostock Junior Batmen lead it by a score of 4-0. Rostock 4 runs on 4 hits. Tavistock no runs on 1 hit. Lots of people to thank here for supporting the tournament and sponsoring various aspects of the Canadian Fast Pitch Championships in Softball Canada, here being put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. Explore Waterloo and Wood Rescue Canada among those offering their support. Gives us a chance now to update some of the standings and activities in the men's division while we have a break here in the half inning. The East Hants Mastodons started at 2-0. They're now 2-1. The Bear Creek Express, with their win, now are atop the standings at 3-0. The Souk Loggers, they've moved to 2-1. And Souk was a winner over Josh Collins, so they're 0-3. Again, that final this morning, the Souk Loggers defeated the Josh Collins Racing Reds 6-3. Bear Creek prevailed by a 6-5 count over the East Hants Mastodons in extra innings. Galway is leading the Waterdown Hammer. Galway is at 1-1, Waterdown 0-2. And Saskatoon has the quick lead on the Mixburg Jacks. Both of those teams are 1-1. We'll update those standings as we go. Once again, this is U23 action that you're watching on Conestoga College Digital TV. Lined by the glove of the second baseman. Bender could not reach far enough to get that, and so a leadoff single by Danny Scott. Scott 1 for 2 in the ballgame now. Struck out swinging in the first, and now is at first with nobody out. Here's Aiden Yard. He singled and scored in the first inning. With 1 man out, he singled to get aboard. Moved to second on the walk to Matt Weiler. Advanced to third on a wild pitch, and scored on the sacrifice fly by Riley Good. Good with an RBI, and Alex McGilvery with 2 RBI based on a 2-run homer. Powerful hitter is Yard, but he's also very effective. He's shown that he can bunt at both levels. He swings at that one. Again, he, Scott, McGilvery, Brancho, Brubaker, all doing double duty in this tournament. Ball outside. One of the perks of having both the U23 and the men's championships in the same location. Although I'm sure for Yard and Scott, McGilvery, Brancho, Brubaker, they have to do a double take to see which jersey they're putting on. Make sure they've got the right pair of socks with the right team. Yard needs some time to tie up his shoe. 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Junior Batman with a 4-0 lead, and Yard launches that one, but it is foul. He got lots of zip on that one. Swing and a miss. Yard goes down swinging. That's the 5th strikeout for Reed Yancey.
Batting with 1 on the designated player, number 4, Matt Weiler.
Knocked sky high. Going back, coming in is the center fielder. McKay will make the catch, and there's 2 out. Both the second baseman, Bender, and the shortstop, Van Bokel, went out after it. Neither one came down with it, as the center fielder, McKay, called them off. 2 down, 1 on, bottom of the third inning, 4-0 for Rostock. Here is Riley Good. Good has one of the RBIs in the game, as he delivered a sacrifice fly to Mason McKay that scored Aiden Yard. Rostock with 3 in the first, 1 in the second. They lead at 4-0. There's a ball that gets away. And that will allow Danny Scott to move into second. Threw down to Van Boekel. Van Boekel is having a discussion with the second base umpire as to whether or not that was an out or not. Reese Yancey will take his set. Good awaits in the batter's box. Swing and a miss. Of the 8 outs to this point in the ball game for Rostock, 5 of them have been by strikeout. That one's pounded into the ground. Riley Good flied out to center field. That was a sacrifice fly. Tyler Brancho grounded to the third baseman, Jack Becker. And then McKay made the catch on Matt Weiler. 4-0 Rostock. Game C1 of Softball Canada's Under-23 tournament. Winner advances to the gold medal game. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. So 6 of 9 putouts for Tavistock have been strikeouts for Reed Yancey. No runs. Rostock did get a hit. After 3 complete, the Rostock junior batmen have the lead over the Tavistock Merchants by a score of 4-0. Rostock 4 runs on 5 hits. For Tavistock, no runs, 1 hit. Taking a look at the flow chart already this morning, Merno, Newfoundland, the Mariners, have defeated Delisle, Saskatchewan, the Pride, by a score of 2-1. So that eliminates Delisle and pushes Merno to a game at approximately 3:30 this afternoon against the winner of our next game, New Hamburg and Quebec. The loser of Quebec-New Hamburg is eliminated from the tournament. The winner of that game advances to Merno. Meanwhile, you're watching Game C1, Rostock 5-1 against Tavistock, who are 4-2 after round-robin play. As we've been telling you, the winner of this game will advance to the gold medal game here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard tomorrow afternoon, scheduled for 3:30. The loser of this game gets a double life and will play tomorrow morning in the semifinal at 11 o'clock here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And the loser of this game will meet the survivor of Merno, New Hamburg, and Quebec. All this information is available at softball.ca. Great webpage, got all your information for you. And you can also watch through the Game Changer app. An update, the Saskatoon Jacks are leading the Mixburg Twins by a score of 3-0. Both of those teams 1-1 coming into the affair. Dale Schweier pitching a shutout here into the 4th inning. Top of the 4th, his team leads 4-0. Rostock over Tavistock. For Tavistock, it's the number 3 hitter, Connor Brooks, the first baseman. Strike 1. Schweier delivers again. This one is popped, and it will fall for a base hit. Brooks, who has a tremendous reputation as a hitter, softly gets that through the middle of the infield, and it lands softly on the green in center field. 1 on, nobody out. That brings Aaron Waugh, the catcher, to the plate. Waugh is 0 for 1 in the tournament, or in the game. In the tournament, he's much better than that. 0 for 1 in the game. He bounced back to Schweier for the first out of the 2nd inning. Here we are in the top of the 4th. His team down by 4. Waugh swings mightily and misses. Schweier has struck out 2 in the game. His defense has been pretty good, albeit only 1 ball has gone to the outfield. That was Mason McKay flying out to Tyler Brancho. And here's an opportunity now in left field, and he's not going to get there. It falls just to the feet of the left fielder, Danny Scott. So another single, barely, but a single nonetheless, puts Brooks at second, Waugh at first. First real threat of the game for Tavistock. 2 on, nobody out. Runners at first and second. Waugh at first. Brooks at second. In the 2nd inning, Van Boekel managed to get to third, and Keaton Bartlett at first at the same time. So they were first and third, but there were 2 out. And it looks as if Tavistock's making an alteration here for a runner at first base, while the catcher is going to come out, quite likely to re-enter the game. Trying to catch the number 4 Tavistock, who's doing the running.
Now running at first base, number 98, Trip Gilbert.
Come on. An attempted bunt there by Jack Becker. Just waiting for the runner at first to turn his back for me, and actually he gives me the front look. Well, it could be any one of Ronnie, Roth, Gilbert, Chinook, or Brown. Nobody out, 2 on. Called ball. For the love of God, kid, turn your back. This is where I need your cameras to be at first base, Darcy. Dale Schweier to deliver. Fouled off. The batter is Jack Becker. Andrew Van Boekel, who has a hit in the ball game, is up next. You come to appreciate the many cameras that Sportsnet has when you're doing a ball game. And I hesitate to deviate from my lineup on the precious phone just in case he does turn his back, and I have to go back to it. Becker calls timeout, gets back in the box. Nobody out, 2 on. That's high. So Tavistock trying to rally here in the 4th. Down by 4. There's a wild pitch. All right. I still didn't get his number. I can tell you that Connor Brooks is at third base. The pinch runner for Tavistock is at second. A player to be named later. And Becker is at the plate. Dale Schweier in the circle for Rostock. Tavistock with their first big threat of the ball game. Down by 4. Launched into center field. That could score 2. There's the throw to the plate. It'll only score 1. And that was number 98. Gunned down at the plate. Single. RBI for Jack Becker. Brooks scores. Was, or the runner for Waugh, is gunned out of the plate. Center, that being Brancho, to the catcher. And the tag was applied by Mike Walker. All right, who's number 98? That was Trip Gilbert. There we go. That brings Van Boekel to the plate. Trip Gilbert tried to score from second and was gunned down by a great throw by Tyler Brancho in center field. There's a ball that's low. Van Boekel is 1 for 1. He singled back in the second inning, was stranded at third. 4-1 ball game. 1 out, 1 on. Van Boekel pops it away. The Tavistock Merchants have put together 3 consecutive singles off of Dale Schweier. After getting just 1 hit through the first 3 innings, they get 3 here in the top of the 4th. They've scored once. Becker is at first base. Swing and a miss by Van Boekel. For Schweier, his 3rd strikeout here in the game. Keaton Bartlett is due up now. Bartlett, the left fielder for the Tavistock Merchants. They're down 4-1 here in the top of the 4th with 2 out and 1 on. Ground ball off of Schweier, and it deflects by McGilvery, who scampers after it and leaves it for the right fielder. So there's 4 hits in the inning for the Tavistock Merchants. On their second time through the lineup, the middle to bottom of the order, getting lots of opportunities. Quick check on Dale Schweier to make sure he's all right. Hard grounder up the middle. So Reese Yancey, the pitcher, comes to the plate. He struck out looking in the top of the second inning, ending a threat where Tavistock had runners at first and third. Pitcher against pitcher. Schweier, the lefty, to Yancey, the batter, who grounds it through the right side. And this will score a run. Yard thought about throwing it home, but the RBI single by Reed Yancey makes it a 4-2 game. Bartlett goes into second. Becker comes around to score. 4-2 our game. So what was shaping up as somewhat of a blowout is now inching closer and closer. Yancey will be replaced at first base by a runner. I'm going to assume that's Keaton Bartlett. I don't think it is, though. Bringing Joe Mick to the plate. Mick struck out, second victim for Dale Schweier. That was back in last inning, in the third inning. Fouled off. The runner at first base is actually 68, Andrew Van Boekel. Bartlett can't run because he's at second base, Fred. Way to think it through. Two strikes on Joe Mick, the designated player. Schweier delivers. Waste pitch up high. Bartlett at second, Yancey or Van Boekel at first for Tavistock. Trip Gilbert thrown out at the plate and would not have been a difference maker had he been saved. Grounded it through the shortstop, and this might make it a 4-3 game. Bartlett is going to score. Van Boekel goes into second. RBI single for Joe Mick. And a big inning continues for the Tavistock Merchants. Down 4-0 at the start of this inning. Brooks singled. Aaron Waugh singled. Jack Becker singled. Scoring Brooks, but Aaron Waugh, or the runner for Aaron Waugh, Trip Gilbert, was thrown out at the plate. That brings us back to the top of the order. Mason McKay, 0 for 2 in the game. Flied out to the center fielder Brancho. Grounded out Brubaker to Baltina. So a Rostock team that was in no danger at one point are now a base hit away from being tied and maybe an extra base hit away from losing the lead. Schweier is high to McKay. Ballpark suddenly coming alive. This is hit into center field, but Brancho very calmly is going to go over and make the catch. By the time he made that catch, Dale Schweier was 3/4 of the way into the dugout. 3 runs for Tavistock in that inning. They put together 6 hits off Dale Schweier. Single by Brooks, single by Waugh, single by Becker, single by Bartlett, single by Yancey, single by Mick. But as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, what was once a fairly comfortable 4-0 lead for the Rostock junior batman is now a 4-3 lead as Tavistock comes back, and you can see it in the way Tavistock is taking the field that they're reinvigorated by that. Due up for the batman in the bottom of the 4th inning, Mike Walker, Nolan Baltina, and Blake Brubaker. Game C1 of Softball Canada's U23 Championship being put on by the Kitchener Fastball promotion here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Among those that we want to thank, Iron Horse Financial Solutions and MTE Consultants for their support. The Murno Mariners were winners this morning. They are the defending champions in this event, having won it on this very field 1 year ago. Murnau finished 5th in the round robin based on the tiebreaker formula with the poorest of the plus minus or the run differential numbers. But Murnau is smiling as they're coming back to the ballpark this afternoon for a game at 3:30 against either New Hamburg or Quebec. New Hamburg and Quebec, one of them will have a busy afternoon. They will play their game scheduled for 1:15, and the winner will stay on the diamond and go against Murnau. Reed Yancey, pitching for the Tavistock Merchants, has given up 5 hits, 4 runs against. He's struck out 6. He's facing the catcher, Mike Walker. Walker grounds to the third base, grabbed by Becker, across to Brooks for the putout. Jack Becker with a good play there at third, 1 down. Here's the first baseman, Nolan Boltina. He struck out to lead off second inning. So Rostock, who looked like they were going to run away with this game, now suddenly are on their heels. Yancey, there's a number that's foul. And the ball is thrown into right field. Yancey has retired 6 of the last 7 batters. Brubaker was given credit by the official scorer, being me, for a triple that was somewhat misplayed in right field. It was a hit, no question about it. Since then, Brancho was grounded out to Becker. McGilvery struck out. Danny Scott did get a single. Aiden Yard struck out. Matt Weiler flied out to Mason McKay. Riley Good struck out. And Mike Walker just grounded out to Becker. This one is pounded into the ground. Can Becker make the play here? Gets the ball across in a game. Well, as good as his first play was, the second one was almost better. That ball was pounded into the turf here, or into the infield, when it's not sky high, but as often is the case on this diamond, it popped up. Becker had to run in, and while still running, whipped it across to Connor Brooks for the putout. Very quickly, 2 down. Blake Brubaker is at the plate. Brubaker generously given credit for a triple earlier in the affair. There's swing and a miss. Interesting looking at the standings in the men's division. We have just 2 undefeated teams amongst the 10 after 1 day and a bit of play. Brubaker takes the ball. We'll update those standings. See also if we can check in on the other ball diamonds at Peter Hallman Ball Yard. See who's doing what. Base hit for Brubaker, his second of the game. This one fielded cleanly in right field. So Brubaker, 2 for 2. Turns the lineup over, and here comes Tyler Brancho, 1 for 2 in the ball game. He singled to lead off the bottom of the first and came around to score on the 2-run homer by Alex McGilvery, which really was a majestic shot. He grounded out to Becker in the second inning. Becker's been pretty busy at the hot corner. Ball 1 low. 4-3, Rostock leading over the Tavistock Merchants. Bottom of the 4th inning in game C1. Softball Canada U23 Championship. Great changeup by Yancey. I think he had me fooled in that one. Lunging at it was Brancho for a strike. Comes back with a fastball, and Brancho misses that one. Disappointed in his performance to this point, Brancho will regroup and go back into the batter's box. A clean inning, clean inning, got to run it first. But a good inning for the Tavistock Merchants as Reed Yancey strikes out his 7th batter. No run for Rostock. They get another hit. That's 6th in the ballgame. After 4 complete, Rostock leads at 4-3. Rostock has 6 hits. Tavistock, ironically, 7 hits. 6 of those hits coming in their last inning. And they come to the top of the 5th inning with a lot of momentum. So here's what we have for standings right now in the men's division. And again, this is in the men's division. The Bear Creek Express, with their win this morning in extra innings, are at 3-0. The Toronto Batmen, who will play much later in the day, are at 2-0. Those are the only 2 undefeated teams to this point. Both the East Hants Mastodons and the Sauk Loggers are at 2-1. The Saskatoon Jacks and Vicksburg Twins, who are both playing it right now, are 1-1, as are the Galway Hitmen, 1-1. Saskatoon and Galway have leads in their games, so it's conceivable by the time we get to 1 o'clock this afternoon that we'll have a four-way tie for third place between East Hants, Sault, Saskatoon Jacks, and the Galway Hitmen. The Kitchener-Hallman Cubs started 0-2. The Waterdown Hammer are 0-2, and they're trailing in their third game. And the Josh Collins Racing Reds were beaten this morning, so they are 0-3 and sitting last in the 10-team tournament. Let's keep it going. Top of the fifth inning, Tavistock Merchants down 4-3 in Game C3. We have two more U23 games still ahead. One, we know who the opponents will be. New Hamburg Mustangs, 3-3, against Quebec, 2-4. The batter is Blair Bender, takes a strike. And then the other game still ahead in the U23 will be approximately 3:30. We know the Murnau Mariners will be there. Swing and a miss by Bender, the second baseman. But will Murnau go against Quebec, or will they go against New Hamburg? That's still to be determined. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm rather liking our weather here. So at the risk of jinxing anything, why don't I go check the weather in Kitchener and what forecast is calling for. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Rain is expected to start in 11 minutes. We have a 100% chance of rain at 1 p.m., and then it dips down to 50 for 2 and 3, 65 for 4 p.m. It's never easy, is it? Dale Schweier pitching to Bender. That's inside. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the fifth inning. Schweier delivers. Strikes out Blair Bender. Fourth strikeout for Dale Schweier. Top two batters in the lineup for Tavistock have gone a combined 0 for 6. Everybody else has been productive and been on base. Brooks is at the plate, 1 for 2. Waugh, 1 for 2. Becker, 1 for 2. Van Hoekel, 1 for 2. Bartlett, 1 for 1. 1 for 2, he got on an error. Reese Yancey, 1 for 2. And Joe Mick, 1 for 2. So Tavistock has had 7 hits in the ball game, but they trail by 1, 4-3 here in the top of the fifth. There's a ball by Schweier and some acrobatics and gymnastics behind him, played by Mike Walker. The Murnau Mariners have gone back to their lodging and will come back in about 3 hours' time to face either New Hamburg or Quebec. Quebec and New Hamburg will play their game immediately following this game. It's scheduled for 1:15, and I think we're going to be pretty close to that time frame, barring the unforeseen. One down here in the top of the fifth. Brooks launches a ball, and we're tied. Connor Brooks tied it up. The left fielder, Danny Scott, did not even move. And Brooks has squared the affair at 4. Brooks, again, has the reputation, a long-term reputation, as a top hitter in fastball. And he belts one off of Dale Schweier, and we're all squared. A one-out solo home run by Connor Brooks. 2 for 3 in the ball game. He popped out to the shortstop, Brubaker, in the first. Singleton scored in the fourth, and launches a home run that had no doubt about it from the very moment of contact. Here's Aaron Waugh. What a swing in the old pendulum of momentum here. Rostock had it all to themselves at 4-0. Tavistock rallied for 3 in the top of the fourth, and they're now squared it at 4 with a solo home run here in the fifth from Connor Brooks. Waugh, who's 1 for 2, got lots on that. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Waugh is 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th inning, went to second on a wild pitch. Actually, he did. The pinch runner, Trip Gilbert, did. Waugh swings and misses and strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Dale Schweier, 5 in the game. Trip Gilbert, pinch running for Aaron Waugh in the 4th inning, was thrown out when the center fielder, Brancho, made a deadly accurate throw to the pitcher Walker for the putout. And how big is that play standing right now? This is popped up, backing after it is Brubaker to make the putout, and that quells the inning. But Tavistock gets 1 to tie it in the 5th. They had 1 hit. So after 4.5, with Rostock coming to the plate in a 4-4 game, we're all tied. Tavistock Merchants, 4 runs, 8 hits. Rostock Batman coming to the plate. They have 4 runs on 6 hits. Lots of offense here in the ballgame as we move right along. The organizing committee wants to thank Expressway Ford New Hamburg. They're certainly rooting for the Mustangs this week, along with Conestoga College. Conestoga College Digital TV is what's bringing you the live stream. And again, there are various ways that you can watch it. And we thank Conestoga College for all their technical support, not just today, but through the course of the weekend. 4-4 tie as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Meat of the order for the Rostock Batmen, 2, 3, and 4. McGilvery has a home run in the game. Danny Scott, who was a single in the game. And Aiden Yard, who was a single and a run scorer, coming up for Rostock. A berth in the championship is on the line here. The winner goes directly to the championship. Lefty Reed Yancey in the circle for the Tavistock Merchants. He struck out 7. Along with 6 hits, he struck out 7. He has walked 1. The 1 walk he yielded was to Matt Weiler in the 1st inning. So Alex McGilvery, who homered as the second batter in the bottom of the 1st inning, is up now for the Rostock Batmen. Good changeup and a strike. By the time McGilvery realized what the pitch was, he had halfway committed. 1 strike on Alex McGilvery. Fastball, McGilvery misses. Alex homered in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd, and he's down 2 strikes here in the 5th. Yancey, ground ball. Becker will play it, get it across. How good has Jack Becker been at 3rd base in this game for Tavistock? By my count, that's his 4th assist. Got Brancho, got McGilvery, got Walker and Baltina. Walker and Baltina back to back, and the one off Baltina you want to circle as a nice play. Danny Scott, 1 for 2 with single. The number 3 hitter for Rostock. And I got to tell you, I didn't see this comeback coming. Good to Tavistock that they did it. There's a ball. And Reed Yancey has picked up the pace in terms of his pitching. There's no theatrics out there. He gets the ball, takes a bit of a break, and then whips it. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 2 on Danny Scott. Some debate on the 3rd base side, but I thought the umpire made the correct call there. 2 strikes on Danny. Fouled it off. Kind of wondering if he didn't check his swing on that one. This one is going to be looped, and it drops. So Danny Scott gets his 2nd hit of the ball game just over the head of the 2nd baseman, Blair Bender. The Saskatoon Jacks in men's play looking to move 2-1 today, and they've roared out to a 6-0 lead over the Mixburg Twins. Yancey to Aiden Yard, that's fouled off. Yard is 1 for 2 in the game. Aiden singled in the first inning, moved to second on the walk, went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on the sacrifice fly by Riley Good. That made it 3-0. And at that point, Rostock looked like they were totally in control. Change up to Yard, takes it for a ball. Aaron Waugh, the catcher, held it just a little bit longer to indicate that he felt it was a strike. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 2 on Aiden Yard. Singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. He was the 5th strikeout victim for Yancey. Yancey has struck out 7 in the game. Little high. Yard being defensive at the plate, thought about it, but it was above his head, and Yard is not a small batter. Yancey again wheels and deals. Again, this is high. Fills the count. Fouled away. Four tie here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Yard taps it. It's to Becker. Becker goes to second for the force. Man, is this guy playing ball offensively. 5-4 on the putout. And that's 5 assists in the game for Jack Becker at third. Yard survives in the fielder's choice. Matt Barley comes to the plate. Quite a contrast between the games. More so Nate Thiessen for Delisle than Brody Fraser for Monroe. But they were very deliberate. Took their time, let's put it that way. Reese Yancey, give me that ball, let me throw it. Wiley pops it up, Bender under it, and he makes the catch. Blair Bender with the putout, and we're all square after 5 complete innings. No runs for Rostock. They did get a hit, the single by Danny Scott. So after 5, Rostock 4, Tavistock 4. The junior Batmen have 7 hits in the ball game. The Tavistock Merchants, they have 8 hits. Due up for Tavistock, Andrew Van Boekel, Keaton Bartlett, and Reese Yancey. Let's take a look at our scores again in the men's divisions that are taking place at Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The Galway Hitmen, who are 1-1, have a 3-1 lead over the Waterdown Hammer. That game in the bottom of the 4th inning. Waterdown at the plate with 2 men out. Nobody on. So Galway in position to move to 2-1, although it's only midway through the ball game. As for the Saskatoon Jacks, they're looking extremely well. They're extremely good here. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading by a score of 6-0 over Mixburg. Now the Mixburg Twins are threatening here. They do have 2 men out, but 2 men are on. But Saskatoon also looking to go to 2-1, as is Mixburg, who won their opening game. Try and keep you up to date. Finals today in the men's division. Sault, British Columbia over the Josh Collins Racing Red, 6-3. So Josh Collins Racing Red fall to 0-3. Sault now 2-1. In extra innings, the big game this morning, Bear Creek Express of Ontario over the East Hants Mastodons, 6-5 in extra innings. We're in the top of the 6th. This is the shortstop, Andrew Van Boekel. As mentioned, Galway leading Waterdown, Saskatoon leading Vicksburg, and then men's play will resume around 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's a ball. Scheduled for 3:45, the lone game is the Galway Hitmen play their second game of the day against the East Hants Mastodons. So Galway conceivably will be 2-1. The Mastodons are 2-1. So that's what's ahead in the men's division here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Tavistock looking for their first lead of the ball game. They were down 3-0 after 1, 4-0 after 2, 4-0 after 3, 4-3 after 4, and tied it up at 4. And then Van Boekel is launched one, and that too is gone. A leadoff solo home run by Andrew Van Boekel, the shortstop. And he is significantly pumped. I'm not sure how many hands he just broke, high-fiving and slapping back to the dugout. And is that it for Dale Schweier? Tavistock has taken the lead at 5-4 in the top of the 6th inning. And it looks as if we are having a pitching change here. Joe Weiler is coming into the game. Weiler, who pitched for Ontario at the Canada Games and was the winning pitcher in the gold medal victory over Quebec, is going to replace Dale Schweier. That closes the book on Dale. He went 5 complete innings, gave up 5 runs on 9 hits, struck out 5. And the Rostock junior batmen, who got off to just the best start that you would want, now find themselves down by a run here in the top of the 6th inning. Well, we have this pitching change. Gives us an opportunity to thank some of the many sponsors here who are supporting Kitchener Fastball Promotions. That includes Wood Rescue Canada, along with Explore Waterloo.
Number 33, Joe Weiler.
We haven't had any action in the Masters division. It was a busy day yesterday for the 7 teams, and there were a couple of games on Tuesday night as well. Scheduled for 1:15 here this afternoon at Duncan McClellan Park, the Huron County Angels in against the Saskatoon Brewers. The Angels, who were slaughtered in their first game and have been competitive since, are at 0-3. The Saskatoon Brewers are 1-1. And scheduled for 1:30 on diamond number 2, the Cobourg Forest, the defending champion, in against the Grand Prairie Alberta Pirates. Cobourg 2-1. The Pirates are 2-0. Joe Weiler in the pitch. The first offering is a ball. We're in the top of the 6th inning in Game C1 of the Softball Canada Under-23 Championship. This is the 1-2 game. The 1, the Rostock Junior Batman in the field. Trailing the 2, the Tavistock Merchants. Skyball, Alex McGilvery with the sure hands will scoot near this. And there's 1 down. Tavistock, who went 4-2 in the round robin, have a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 6th with 1 out and nobody on. The go-ahead blow, and it was a blow, Andrew Van Boekel sent it soaring towards diamonds 2 and 3 here at the Peter Holman Ball Yard. That's outside. Reese Yancey, the pitcher, who has hung in there very, very nicely, didn't get overly discouraged when he and his team fell behind. The onus maybe shouldn't be on the pitcher, but I'm sure the pitcher always takes that. And Yancey, if anything, picked up his pace. I won't say that he picked up his socks because the hits were all valid. There's one that's high. Yancey stares out at Weiler. Yancey 1 for 2 in the ballgame. He struck out looking in the second to Dale Schweier and singled out Schweier in the 4th. Weiler low, and we have a base runner. First walk given up by Joseph Weiler. That brings Joe Mick to the plate. Mick is 1 for 2. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning to launch the 3rd inning. He was the leadoff batter. And then he had an RBI single in the 4th to make it a 4-3 game. He puts this one into right field. Yard is going to have to hustle after it. It comes back to Aiden Yard, who makes a great catch and then wheels it back in. Well, Aiden Yard ran a great deal to his right. Ball probably was curving back to him just a bit. And under probably slick conditions in the outfield with all the moisture that we've had, he was able to put on the brakes and make the catch and then get it right back in. So a good catch by Aiden Yard at right field. Mason McKay is due up. And is around home plate. But it looks as if we're going to have a runner for Reese Yancey. This will be number 15 coming into the ball game. That's Bo Shrink. So he'll be running for Reese Yancey. I have no doubt in my mind that when the inning does conclude, that Yancey will be right back out there in the pitching circle. The Waterdown Hammer have a run, but they're trailing the Galway Hitmen in men's play 6-1. Fouled away by McKay. Over towards the teams that are warming up. A game scheduled to start in 30 minutes' time. Quebec against the New Hamburg Mustangs. Quebec went 2-4 in the round robin. Weiler delivers. This has popped up, way up. Baltina is going to backtrack, find his position, and there's the putout. One run on the massive home run by Andrew Van Boekel. That was the only hit at the end of the day for Dale Schweier. But as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the number 2 Tavistock Merchants have a 5-4 lead over the number 1 Rostock Junior Batman. What's going on over there, Darby? Darcy with Canada. Is it Darcy or Darby? You're Darcy with the C. Right, there we go. Darcy with Conestoga College Digital TV. And many, many helpers, although not many at 9 o'clock this morning, they've been able to bring you the ball games here for the live stream. We are live streaming on Peter Hallman Diamond number 1, and we'll continue to do so through the rest of the day and through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a 3-diamond facility in a dandy. As Bernie Burnett says, we are here not in civilization in the city of Kitchener, but it is a very nice location. They've done a tremendous job of this ballpark. An Activa Center, I think 3 arenas across the site, plus some fitness areas and some industrial sites. No residential down here, so it's a good area, and they've made good use of it. Okay, real quick check on the scores. The Galway Hitmen in men's play are leading the Waterdown Hammer 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th in men's play. And also in men's play, the Saskatoon Jacks are holding a 6-0 lead over Mixburg, and that's in the top of the 4th inning with Saskatoon at the bat and 2 men on base. Our game, 5-4, Tavistock lead. Riley Good, the third baseman, at the plate. Swing and a miss. Lots of potential heroes for Tavistock in this come-from-behind game, should they win it. Your pitcher, Reese Yancey, is one you considered. Andrew Van Boekel with a go-ahead run. If I'm going to pick an MVP, it might be Jack Becker at third base. 5 assists in the ball game. And some of the 5 assists, I'd say 60% of them, 3 of the 5, have been terrific plays by him. Not routine by any stretch of the imagination. Swing and a miss, and Good goes down, striking it out for the second time. For Yancey, that's his 8th strikeout in the ball game. He's got Riley Good twice. Mike Walker was a strikeout victim in the first inning to end it. Walker 0 for 2, struck out in the first, grounded to Becker at third. Jack Becker defensively has made 5 assists. He assisted on putouts to Brancho, to McGilvery, a force on Danny Scott, and then back-to-back made assists on Mike Walker and Nolan Baltina. Mike Walker to the plate. Reese Yancey fires a ball, and so Walker is bored on the walk. Yancey has not walked many in the ball game. In fact, if we check the scoreboard, just the second one. He walked Matt Weiler way back in the first inning. How is Bernie Brad doing today?
Well, I anticipated rain. It happened.
it kind of happened. It did rain, and it's not missed. It's somewhere in between, isn't it? Well, keep it over there, Lord. Keep it over there. Thank you, Ernie. So batting for Nathan Baltino. Number 78, so we have a pinch hitter. This is Nick McGrain. Baltina was over 2. McGrain follows this one off. Baltina struck out in the second, grounded to Becker, and that was a really nice play by Becker at third base. Nevertheless, at 0 for 2, Nick McGrain is coming to pinch hit. Runner at first, 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning, 5-4, Tavistock leading Rostock, fouled away again, 2 strikes. Final on the day today, the Murno Mariners beating the Delisle Pride 2-1, eliminating Delisle. It shows you how good a handicapper I am, even though Murno is the defending champion. The odd test for me, I like Delisle. I thought they had depth at pitching. They had some extremely good hitters, one of them being a pitcher, Laskowski. Caden Fettick did not have a good finish to the tournament, was very good through most of the tournament. This is Sky into center field. McKay will come across and put it in for the second out. Both McKay and the right fielder, Will Schutzhauer, had a shot at it, but McKay would make the play. 3 put out for McKay in the ball game, one of which was sharing the sacrifice fly by Riley Good that knocked in a run. 2 outs, 1 on, Blake Brubaker at the plate. Take strike 1. Saskatoon Jacks have moved ahead of Vicksburg 7-0, and we'll see where that game is. Correction, they've moved ahead 8-0 in the top of the 4th. So unless Vicksburg can get something going, that game could be a mercy, and Saskatoon would move to 2-1 on the tournament. Foul ball by Blake Brubaker. Brubaker has 2 hits in the game. I gave him credit for a triple. It was not necessarily a to-the-wall triple. It was a to-the-right fielder triple, and Schutzhauer had a little bit of difficulty fielding it. Swing and miss by Brubaker, and he's out. 9 strikeouts for Reedy Ente after 6, with no runs and no hits in that inning for Rostock. Tavistock comes to the plate in the top of the 7th inning, holding a 5-4 lead. Blair Bender, Connor Brooks, and Aaron Waugh, the meat of the order for Tavistock, will be here. Having said that, Brooks is the only one who's made a hit, or pardon me, Brooks and Waugh have hits. But the top of the order for Tavistock has not been overly productive. Mason McKay 0 for 4, Blair Bender 0 for 3. Brooks, in fairness, 2 for 3 with a home run and a 2-run scored, and Aaron Waugh has a single. I want to thank a number of the people that are supportive of this particular venture. That includes McCarter Grassband Lawyers and Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have some good smells coming our way here as we approach 1 o'clock. Murno defeated Delisle 2-1 in Game C3 this morning, eliminating Delisle. And like I say, as a handicapper, I must be pretty poor. I did like Delisle's chances to get into tomorrow. They're going home. Murno, the defending champions, are back at their hotel and will be back here sometime mid-afternoon around 3:30. If you missed Bernie Burnett, he says that it's pouring in Heidelberg. And how far away is Heidelberg? Is it a 15-minute drive? All right. Thanks for nothing, Darcy. Joe Weiler into pitch at strike 1 on the batter, Blair Bender. Bender 0 for 3 in the ball game. Ground out to McGilvery. Line drive to Baltina. And the strikeout to Dale Schweier. He's down 2 strikes here. Tavistock, I'm sure, would love to pad. Rostock, I'm sure, are thinking about a dramatic bottom of the 7th. That's where we are in game C1. Swing and a miss. And for the second time, Linder is down. Schweier struck him out. Weiler struck him out. Which brings Connor Brooks to the plate. Brooks, with his team trailing 4-0 in the top of the 4th inning, singled. Went to second on a single by Aaron Waugh. Went to third on a wild pitch. And scored on a single by Jack Becker. Becker at the plate, by the way, 1 for 3, but defensively, his hands have been all over this game. Defensively, he's been a standout. Tavistock would get 3 runs a foot, and that stung. That stung. Connor Brooks is going to try and walk it off. Easier said than done. It's always great when somebody says walk it off when you're the one that's taking the blow. Yeah, Brooks still isn't ready to go. And have a discussion with the umpire. You wouldn't say that he has come back to the batter's box completely. He does step in, plants the right leg, and here is the sore leg, the front foot. 2 strikes. Bailey trying to set him down. Brooks trying for third hit. That's high. At some point, Brooks will forget all about his sore left leg and focus solely on the ball. Pitch delivered, change up, pounded to Brubaker at short. Brubaker with lots of time fires it across. So the whammy for Connor Brooks is that he hit a ground ball. And I'm pretty sure on the left leg wasn't 100%. 2 down, top of the 7th. Tavistock leading by a score of 5-4 over Rostock. Aaron Waugh the batter. Again, Tavistock finished second in the round robin. Rostock was first. The winner of this game goes to the gold medal game tomorrow afternoon. Did he offer at it? Yes, he did. In fact, it hit the bat for strike 1. The loser of this game will be relegated to the semifinal and given a second life and will play tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Ground ball again. Brubaker takes it on the hop. It gets away from him. His arm strong enough, not strong enough to get it there. To Brubaker's credit, although he didn't field it cleanly, he still only got Waugh. So Waugh goes 1 for 4 in the ball game. A single. His pinch runner, Trip Gilbert, was thrown out of the plate. And how big is that to me right now? The play that Brancho made it in center field, throwing it to Mike Walker. Waugh is going to be replaced by a runner, and that's Connor Brooks. So a miserable inning for Connor Brooks. Took one off the front foot. Had to lumber his way to first on the ground ball. And now, as he replaces the catcher, he's running it at first. Doesn't seem to be showing any after effects, but I don't think Connor is in the market to steal. Again, how big had a Trip Gilbert scored? Would that be a 2-run lead? Fabulous changeup by Joe Weiler. Jack Becker, who defensively is the best player in the game. Well, no offense to any of the other guys that are playing defense in any way, shape, or form. Becker has been fantastic. Takes the ball. At the plate in this game, Becker is 1 for 3. Ground out to Alex McGilvery. That was in the second inning. Singled and scored. Singled for an RBI and then came around to score. That was in the 4th. And then popped out to Brubaker to end the 5th inning. But his glove at third has been all over this game. 2 out, 1 on. Brooks running at first. Swing and a miss. So for Joe Weiler, that is his second strikeout. He struck out 2 this inning. No runs, no hits, a runner left on base. Tavistock goes to the bottom of the 7th, holding a 1-run lead over the Rostock junior batman. For Tavistock, 5 runs. They had 9 hits. For Rostock, they have 4 runs and have put together 7 hits. They had 4 runs and 4 hits in the first 2 innings and have had just 3 hits since, each in each inning. 1 in the 3rd by Danny Scott, 1 in the 4th by Blake Brubaker, 1 in the 5th, again by Danny Scott. The good news for the Rostock junior batmen is that they are at the top of their lineup. 1, 2, and 3 due up. Brancho, who has singled and scored. McGilvery, who has homered. And Danny Scott, who is 2 for 3. Reese Yancey will toe the rubber as Tavistock getting set to go. And again, I don't want to jinx anything here, Darcy, but it's almost bright. Almost bright. I still see umbrellas propped up here, but the faithful along the rail, they're uncovered. Tyler Brancho to lead it off. Bounced in there by Reese Yancey. Yancey has given up 7 hits as mentioned. He has struck out 9. One of those victims is Brancho. One of those victims is McGilvery. One of those victims is Scott. So everybody he's faced today, he's struck out at one point or another in the game. Brancho got lots on that. Slammed it foul. We nearly had a disabled camera, Darby is saying. Darcy? You're Darcy, right? All right. I'm going to give you a new name before we're done here. I'm not sure what this means, but you look like the Darby. How's that? Darcy looking after us on Conestoga Cable, Conestoga College, Digital TV. Tavistock thought that might have been a strike. Tyler Brancho. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Rostock junior batman down 5-4. Swinging and a miss, he's gone. No, he's not gone. I thought that was strike 3. I thought the foul was strike 2. I got to pay attention. Sorry, folks. And now he's gone to first base. Draws a walk from Reese Yancey. 3rd walk for Yancey. Here's Alex McGilvery. 1 for 3 in the game. His 1 was a very majestic home run. If he does it again here, Rostock wins the game. Whether it's Tavistock or Rostock winning the game, the winner goes to the gold medal final tomorrow afternoon. Alex McGilvery, right-handed batter, and it puts the bunt down. Becker's after it, and the second baseman fell down. Bender fell down, running to first. So everybody's safe. Infield hit by Alex McGilvery, and the second baseman, Blair Bender, who went over to cover first, stumbled, or was he interfered with? So I was watching the ball, but not the play. I think Bender is saying that he was clipped by Brancho, and that's what the discussion is. So who saw it? Because the broadcaster certainly did not. I was watching Jack Becker, wondering if Jack could make yet another sterling defensive play and get the throw over to get Alex McGilvery. This is a prolonged conversation, and everybody's going to stay. Tavistock doesn't necessarily agree with the call, and the discussion will be prolonged. The umpires have had their discussion, and now the management for Tavistock is going to have the discussion with the first base umpire. So I assumed that Bender fell, which is rare. I thought maybe he tripped on something on a wet and perhaps soft infield, but that's not the case. The discussion is ongoing as to whether or not that was an interference. The umpires have decreed that it's not. So Brancho is at second. McGilvery on the bunt is at first. Danny Scott 2 for 3 at the plate. His team down by 1. Reese Yancey delivers, fouled away. In the bottom of the 6th inning, in the men's play, Galway Hitmen leading the Waterdown Hammers 6-1. Back to our action. Reese Yancey throws in, strike 2, fouled away. Meanwhile, the Saskatoon Jacks, on the cusp of a mercy victory, are leading 10-0 over the Mixburg Twins, and that is in the top of the 5th inning. So that definitely looks. The mercy rule is 7 after 5, 10 after 4, and that's the top. So will Mixburg get a chance to come to the plate? But that's the men's. We're talking about the under 23 now. Danny Scott at the plate with 2 men on. Fouls another one off. Reese Yancey has given up 8 hits in the ball game. The last being the bunt infield single with a little bit of controversy attached to it by Alex McGilvery. McGilvery 2 for 4 in the ball game. Coming up immediately following this game, it will be the New Hamburg Mustangs against Équipe Quebec. New Hamburg went 3-3 and somewhat surprisingly won their first 3 and then lost their next 3. Yancey delivers some shots, strikes out. 10 strikeouts for Reese Yancey. That brings Aiden Yard to the plate. Yard is 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the first inning, struck out in the 3rd, and got aboard on a fielder's choice in the 5th. He grounded to Becker, and Becker made the force out to get Danny Scott second. 2 on, 1 away. Yard takes the pitch high. Well, you can't say that our first 2 ball games today have been lacking in entertainment and drama. Murno wins 2-1 over Delisle, Saskatchewan, eliminating the Pride. Yard swings through 1-1. In this game, Rostock roars up to a 4-0 lead. Looks like they're going to stampede their way right over Tavistock. Tavistock regroups and holds a 5-4 lead with 1 out, bottom of the 7th, 2 men on. This one's lifted into center field, but it's up high, and it's going to drop. It went right into no man's land. I thought that it was high enough for McKay, but it falls between McKay, Van Bokel, and I think the third baseman went out, or the left fielder was after it as well. Right into what we'll call the Kitchener Triangle. No man's land. The left fielder, Barton, couldn't get there. McKay, who is extremely swift. I thought the ball was up high enough that McKay, who's pretty fleet out there in center field, could get there. But I was wrong, and Van Bokel went back to the shortstop. So now down by 1. The bases are loaded with 1 out for the Rostock Batman. And here comes Matt Weiler. Weiler is 0 for 2 in the ballgame with a walk. Got a chance to be the hero. A solid single wins it for Rostock. Yancey looking to call the threat with the bases loaded. Fouled off. Our next game, Quebec against New Hamburg. These teams played yesterday, and Quebec walloped them by a score of 10-3. Quebec, the 6th place finisher in the tournament. Yancey. And this is launched. Is it gone? It's down for a run, and Matt Weiler has delivered the game-winning 2-run single, scoring Alex McGilvery with the winning run and Tyler Brancho. Final score, 6-5. Rostock wins it. Well, a discouraging night or afternoon for the Tavistock Royal, or pardon me, the Royals are the hockey team. The Merchants are the ball team. And what a game it was. Rostock led it 4-0. Tavistock not only came back but had a 5-4 lead. Bases were loaded, and Matt Weiler delivers the game-winning 2-run single to drive in Tyler Brancho and Alex McGilvery. So Rostock, the number 1 team with that victory, now advances to play tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 in the gold medal game against whoever survives. Tavistock, with the defeat, not eliminated. Tavistock will play in the semifinal tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock against the survivor of New Hamburg, Quebec, and Murnau. Up next, New Hamburg Mustangs are in against Equipe Quebec. The winner of that game will play mid-afternoon against the Murnau Mariners, and the winner of that mid-afternoon game will advance to go against Tavistock. We want to thank Conestoga College Digital TV for broadcasting today's game on live stream on softballcanada.ca. Go to softball.ca for all of your softball entertainment and updates. Men's activity and masters activities, come and see us at the Beer Allman Ball Yard. I'm Fred Wallace. Stay tuned. Up next, it will be the Equipe Quebec 2-4 against the New Hamburg Mustangs 3-3. On behalf of Kitchener Fastball Promotions, we'll talk to you later in the day.